Hey guys, I'm Nick, and welcome back to week 3 of Love Hate. Okay guys, we all know that malls are dying, but I still think that they're pretty dope. This is not just a place to go people watching, it is also a place where different clothing companies come together with different vibes. Maybe you've never thought about brands having vibes, but they do. Think about it. There's a difference between Nike and Skechers, right? Even though they both sell shoes, you instantly know when you walk by which is which. Or what about Urban Outfitters and H&M? They literally sell the same products to the same age people, but there's just something different about them. Here's why I think that this is dope. Companies spend billions of dollars each year trying to control those brands' reps. The look, the smell, and what they're known for, those aren't accidents. They're carefully decided. And here's what I mean. I'm gonna read some reputations and you tell me which brand it is in the comments below. 1. 2-day or less lightning fast shipping. 2. We will drop kick your package onto your doorstep. 3. Lowest prices always. 4. The best cell phones. And 5. The best chicken sandwich ever. Here's the point that I'm trying to make. Companies hire hundreds of people to spend billions of dollars trying to shape something that every one of us has and most of us want to spend very little time thinking about, and that's our reputation. Just think about the various groups in your school and the assumptions you've made about people who are a part of them. Assumptions like, every kid who attends PDHS is blank. The white, black, Hispanic, Asian kids are blank. The people who are really into band are blank, and the kids who vape are blank. Even though we don't say them out loud, or at least we shouldn't, we all tend to fill in the blanks about other people, to assume we know what to expect from them now and what they're capable of, and how they'll respond in any situation. In other words, how we fill in the blank now determines what we expect from them next. Whether we know the person or not, it doesn't matter. We know their reputation, or we build one for them in our minds, based on one single action or one single person in their group. This isn't a teenager thing, it's a human thing, and we all do it. Where do these assumptions come from though? Well, I think that they come from a lot of places, but the following 2 stand out to me the most. The first one is experiences. We have experiences of what someone like them did or said to us, and we use those experiences to prejudge what this person is like. And the second thing is insecurities. Sometimes our assumptions are formed from our insecurities. The person we're filling in the blank about has something we want or wish we had. They have the starting position on the team, or the house our family could never afford. And it's annoying. We automatically assume the worst about them because they remind us how far we feel from being the best. Our limited experiences and insecurities cause us to fill in the blanks and convince others that we know way more about somebody than we actually do. That we can literally predict their future. And it can be a problem if we really want to be known for love rather than hate, because often, to be honest, we don't fill in the blanks with something nice. The ironic part is that we hate it when somebody does this to us, but how do we resist the temptation to do the same thing to others? There's a moment from Jesus' life that may be able to help us. It all started when some religious leaders called Pharisees tried to catch Jesus off guard with a question they hoped would prove to make out he was a phony. They wanted him to slip up and answer something in a way that took away his credibility, that made him look bad. During one of these encounters, after some people had gathered to listen to Jesus teach in the temple, the religious leaders caught a woman in an R-rated situation. So they dragged her in front of Jesus to see how he would handle the punishment. And I think that what unfolds here shows us a different way to live instead of filling in the blanks about other people's reputations. Check this out. As he was speaking, the teachers of religious law and the Pharisees brought a woman who had been caught in the act of adultery. They put her in front of the crowd. "Teacher," they said to Jesus, "this woman was caught in the act of adultery. The law of Moses says to stone her. What do you say?" They were trying to trap him into saying something they could use against him. Don't miss this next part. The text says that this woman had been caught in the act. She was literally having sex when the leaders found her. The law demanded that people respond by literally throwing rocks at her until she died. And so the religious leaders wanted to make Jesus choose in front of a crowd of people. Was he going to overlook this woman's obvious sin and ignore the law of Moses, which would take away his credibility as a teacher? Or would he allow her to be stoned, causing the crowd to turn on him? It was a setup, and these leaders knew it was a setup, and that was their goal. But let's look at what happens next. But Jesus stooped down and wrote in the dust with his finger. They kept demanding an answer, so he stood up and said, "All right, but let the one who has never sinned throw the first stone." Then he stooped back down and wrote in the dust. When the accusers heard this, they slipped away one by one, beginning with the oldest, until only Jesus was left in the middle of the crowd with this woman. Then Jesus stood up and said to the woman, "Where are your accusers? Didn't even one of them condemn you?" "No, Lord," she said. And Jesus said, "Neither do I. Go and sin no more." My mind's blown. I'm not sure we can fully understand the tension of this moment. These religious leaders who were built their brand on appearing better than others and pointing out the sins of others are totally checked by Jesus. Basically, Jesus is saying, you're quick to point out what everyone else has gotten wrong, but what about you? Have you ever gotten it wrong? Then one by one, these leaders realize their plan backfired. Jesus kindly and lovingly releases the woman who is literally afraid for her life and tells her to go in freedom and live her life differently. Now, listen up. Everyone here is guilty of something, both the religious leaders and this woman. And Jesus had a message for both of them. What is possible for your future isn't determined by your past. Now, if you're a Pharisee and not, if you're the woman, both are guilty and both are free to go. Both had a reputation for being one way, and both can choose to leave differently than they arrived. Jesus challenged the woman to change by saying, "Go and sin no more." Because no matter her reputation, he believed change was possible for her, and it's possible for everyone. It was such a Jesus move. He changed everything because he responded in love to everyone in the situation. And it's exactly what you and I should be about as well. But isn't it true that sometimes we're more on brand with the religious leaders? Don't we often fill in the blanks about others based on their behavior one time? Don't we tend to assume we already know what will happen next in their story because of what has happened before, or even what they think they may have done? But Jesus' approach to the situation in this story teaches us something different. The woman who had a brand, a reputation for being bad, who everyone judged based on this one thing she had done, saw her as more than one thing. Jesus proved that we are more than an assumption or judgments that others make of us, that we are worthy of forgiveness, that we are worthy of grace and a second chance because of his love for us. And we can extend the same forgiveness and grace to others as well. When we choose to follow Jesus' example and take these steps, we're choosing to let love fill the blank instead of our quick and shallow assumptions and judgments about who they are now and who they have become. Just imagine with me what would happen if this is how we spent our time forming opinions of those around us, instead of assumptions, stereotypes, and preconceived notions based on a part of a person? We would be people who believed everyone is worthy of love and has hope for a great future. If this is really what Jesus is about, doesn't it cause you to be a little more interested in his brand? We can be people who let love fill in the blank about others. When we do this, we can be people known for our love for others, just like Jesus was, and just like Jesus intended for his people to be. Awesome. What a great time, dude. I love coming here and doing this with you guys every Sunday. I can't wait till we can meet again in person. But until then, check out what we have for you guys throughout the week. You can go to our website at hopepd.org, or you can just add me on Snapchat at chefnick2011, and you can get in touch with me. You all have a great week. I miss you guys.